Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nisse and today I'm gonna make the first build here in the Future Life Project Asia, which if you haven't been here for when I made my Future Life Africa, it's basically a more of a rescue center than it is a zoo. More specifically, it's about bringing animals home to where they belong. So the first one were from Africa, so we only used African endangered animals, and today we're gonna start the new one in Asia, meaning we only gonna use Asian animals that needs to get home. That would be endangered animals or animals that would be mishandled in some way, like for instance circus animals or something like that. To be honest, I was a little sad to finish off Luca Family Zoo, but I'm so into starting my Future Life project here in Africa. Basically, there are a few rules about it. First of all, the animals I can use. Second of all, it's also make some rules about what I can do with these animals. For instance, the purpose of this is to bring animals home to the wild. So we would both be working on rescue animals and release them to the wild, but we will also be working on for animals that couldn't be released of some reason or another. One could be that they lost I believe we had a male tiger in Future Life Africa who lost a few toes during a fight with his father in his first zoo, and therefore he wouldn't be able to make it to the wild, but he doesn't. But there's nothing genetically wrong with him, so therefore we could use him for breeding. So most of our animals would be some kind of hurt and need some extra care. Therefore it's extra important, first of all, that we give animals good care and good vets here, but also the fact that we try to make their habitats so wild-like as possible, so at least their children are already ready to be released in the wild as soon as possible. I actually wanted to do this in Asia since I made the Africa Future Life project, but to be honest, it was kind of hard to keep up with which animals I can use, and some animals it's hard to find inspiration for and that kind of stuff. So it was nice to take a break and make Luca Family Zoo, but I am ready, and here with the new DLC it was just perfect. So of course the first animal in here will be an animal for the new DLC, of course, and that is the Amur Leopard. It is one of the most endangered leopards out there, and it is a leopard that really needs our help. So we're gonna try and do that. Here we're gonna make a multi-level habitat, as you probably noticed, because they live in foresty areas but also rocky or mountainous areas. So we want to give them something so they can jump up and down of stuff. They will also get some trees to climb in. They will have some water so they can swim, so they really use their muscles as much as possible, so they will be able to and have a good fit body for when we release them. The barrier here also mostly natural, again, to make it seem as natural as possible for the leopard. At this point we have a lot of people in the zoo because we are looking for new benefactors to support our project here, and therefore we had an open house. So we had 500 guests visit the Amur Leopard at once. When we get it all running and we have a stable amount of benefactors and we got the money we need and more animals to see, the guests wouldn't be so crowded as it is now. But the habitat in itself is actually pretty basic. There are a bit with the ground, as you saw in the beginning, but now we are at the time where we basically do what we always do. So we go for the enrichment, and then go back and fix the ground a bit, and then afterwards we have food enrichment first, then normal enrichment, and then I think we're gonna go for the foliage. Yes, we also need a cooling system because we are in the tropical part of Asia, and these leopards live from -15 to 30 degrees Celsius, I think. So therefore we put one of them, the one in the cave, to 20 degrees Celsius and the one outside the cave to 25 degrees Celsius, so the cave will always be cool. And here, of course, every single tree we place in the middle of the habitat is climbable, and then the trees we put next to the stone in the back is more to make a foresty feel when you look through the habitat. So they aren't climbable. Then I put in some foliage here and there and some here, and I use a little extra time because there are some new stuff in here, and I'm not really sure what's new just from the pictures. Some of them I need to pull out to see, but I end up using a lot of these blue grassy flowers here, and I love them. They bring in so much life to the center of the habitat, especially because of the rocks and the trees we won't get too much natural light in here. I will just take a note, since it is a future life project here and we are trying to play wildlife conservation in this kind of project. I just want to tell you, if you want to help the Amur Leopard, there are actually multiple places you can do that. I link one of many articles below from WWF where you can see, read about it, of course. And then of course you can go in there and donate. Of course, as always, when I say donate, it doesn't mean that you have to. It just means you have the possibility if you feel like it, if you want to, if it's something you have the money and means to, and so on. I would never tell you what to do with your money. Normally I would actually never waste my time on a lot of railing, because actually a lot of railing are boring no matter what. And especially the path I have here, actually I have a really nice railing. But earlier today, when I made my video on every single prop you got in the new DLC, link below if you want to see that video, then what's it called? Then I actually saw these planks and I got inspired. So we are gonna use them a lot. We're gonna use them here now. And then actually after I did finish the habitat, I actually went back in and make some shade in over at the water. You will see later on. So I actually feel so inspired, and we're also gonna use the same planks also for some gardening, because I want to do gardening, which I never do, but I'm gonna try to get more into it. And there's a lot of stuff in the new DLC that just inspire me to do so, and also makes it easier to do so. But you probably want to know, why did the volunteer choose to put Amur leopard in a conservation pack? Because we all know about leopards, we all have seen them multiple times in multiple zoos. So why are they so special? They deserve to be in this conservation pack. Basically because there was a count in 2018 where they counted Amur leopards in the wild, and they counted 103. Yes, not a joke, 103 leopards lived in the wild, which were the Amur leopard. There are many other kinds of leopards, but the Amur leopard are critical endangered, and we need to do something now if we want to help it. I know there are a few cases where animals in the wild have been extinct in the wild but reintroduced later and it works, but rather save them before they go extinct than save them after. It can be kind of difficult to notice the difference between leopard and leopard and leopard. Of course, we have the snow leopard that is much more gray and smaller than other leopards, and clouded leopard that have these kind of other kind of spots. The Amur leopard actually have another kind of way to tell them apart. Since they live at the border of Russia and China, they live places where it can be extremely cold, actually down to 30 degrees Celsius, and therefore they kind of need a special coat. Therefore their coat actually grow much thicker and longer in the winter. Some other leopards also get a winter coat, but not as big and furry and long as the Amur leopard. Furthermore, the winter coat for the Amur leopard are also way paler, to kind of make it match in the snowy area. And since it is the most northerly leopard in the world, it makes sense that they have these paler fur than other in the months where there are a lot of snow in the area. But I think I'm finally finished here with the railing, so it's time to make the flower bed down here. And again, as I said before, I just use the same plank, and I make this as basic as possible. I was bit confused, to be honest, about the size of this, but I think I ended up a really good place. Again, I'm normally not doing this kind of stuff around the habitat. Normally I'm only doing the habitat itself, but I actually think it works very well, and I'm actually very proud of this habitat overall, with flower beds and all. And actually I just thought I built what I usually build, but when I shot the cinematics, I was kind of shocked. It works so well, this habitat, and I'm very proud of it. And I actually think more people in this world should tell themselves when they're proud of stuff. I know you shouldn't always just talk about yourself, but when you do something you're proud of, then you should just be honest and say it, because you can't be sure anyone else will. With that said though, if you, like me, think this is a pretty good habitat, there are a like button below and a subscribe button below, and if you like it even more than that, then please, the comment section is there for you. But the flower bed here, as you can see, it just follows the path, and then we just go in with some mulch, and this is the basic mulch for the mulch, not the mulch pack, the base game. I don't think it was in any DLC. If it was probably the European then, but I'm pretty sure that it's from the base game. As I said before, I have every single DLC, and if you like me want to have everything, you need every single DLC. And if you like me like to use a lot of mods and be able to pick and choose between all the mods, then you need every single DLC. But if you aren't in any of those categories, you don't need any of them. I will say though, if you aren't sure whether or not you're gonna get the new DLC, because there's only 5 animals in it and you are most for the animals, or you're not sure if you're a builder of, or if you have any inspiration, I made a video earlier today where I went over every single prop in the game, not in the game, in the new DLC. So go and watch that if you don't know yet. As I said before, it's linked in the description. And these pieces I use now is actually the tomato wine, which actually were in the new DLC. But it have an issue because I search, we have the little search thing and the text, the tagged things. And I used the tag conservation pack and it didn't appear there, so I'm a bit confused why, but luckily I noticed it on one of the blueprint before I ended the video, so I did mention it, but it was kind of weird that it wasn't tagged the same way. But here I basically go in with every single thing I can find that fits in here. And I wanted to have this, again, overgrown look. I love plants that are just allowed to be plants. So therefore I just placed way too much up here because I wanted to look like they sawed a lot of different shit and then it just grew into what it became. So not too much system in it, because the caretakers would probably in a dry season water it or something like that, but they wouldn't use too much time on it, so therefore it's like this. This bench is also from the new DLC. If you haven't if you haven't seen the video, then I used the tropical trash can here. I love that trash can. And then I reused the railing to make an education board. Of course on a much bigger scale. But I just like to have a system when I build, so I reuse the same things to kind of have a red thread through it all. So we're gonna basically do the exact same thing as we did earlier with the railing, but here we're gonna add a little shelf down here. I'm not really sure what you would use that shelf for, but it just looked good with a shelf. So yes, that's our very basic education board, but still different for what else I have done earlier, so it's good. So we're gonna place it at the 2 entrance, then here in the middle part, and then here at the water section. And then I just make this path here and connect it. I will change that path at a later stage. Basically because I want something in the middle there. But it was just to not have that bottleneck at the other entrance here. So that just made sense for me to do it that way. So now in this end we're gonna make some shading, because I just thought it would be nice here. You have peace and quiet. You're only going up here if you want to see them swim or something like that. So it would be a nice place to just sit and take a sip of your water or something like that. Take a breather before you walk the rest of the zoo, because some zoos can be really hard to walk on, and especially since it's a tropical zoo, it will be very warm and very humid. So it just makes sense for me to try to remember to make these shaded areas where you can sit in peace and quiet, and of course other guests can go here, but probably they won't get too crowded in here. Again, because it's Planet Zoo, people don't like to go through something unless they can pass through it and not just what's it called? And not just go in and out. They want to go through. So here I just go very, very basic again. I didn't want anything to be too much. Also because we want new benefactors here at Future Life Asia. And we wouldn't get them if the benefactors thought that we was just using all our money without reason. So we wanted something that looks very nice, but not too expensive. We want to be able to tell our benefactors that their money are going to the animals. I just want to say, if you can hear anything in the background, I just needed to open my window because it's so hot today, and so I needed some air in here. So if you suddenly hear a lot of noise, it's from out there, and I'm sorry, but I need to be able to breathe to talk. But again, these shaders, they are so basic. I promise you can do this. The only thing is you need to want to go back here, you can see, because I wanted it to follow the path and I didn't want a straight path, so it is my own fault. But it takes a little time to make all of these match up. Of course I could just have made them bigger than the path, then I could have made them straight, or I could make a straight path. But I didn't want to do that, so therefore it do get a little more finicky. But besides that, I like them and I think they are pretty. And because you have these holes between, you will still get air through, even though the sun won't get through unless it's right above. And they are quite high, these planks, so therefore you would get a lot of shade, and this would also give a bit of shade for the water, so the water didn't get too hot. Sorry, it's yeah, it's been a long day and I just been sitting awake and waiting for the DLC to drop. So yeah, if I sound a little tired, the DLC released 12 o'clock and I woke up 2 o'clock because I just couldn't sleep. And yeah, now it's almost 7 in the evening. So yeah, I think it's okay that I'm a bit tired. But I just want to bring this video out to you today, but it will be the last video I do today. I'm not sure if I'm going to make anything tomorrow. I'm kind of think I want to, but when it comes to it, I'm not sure, because we're gonna not bury, but we're gonna save the last farewell to my grandma tomorrow. So that's probably gonna be a bit of a tough day for me. So maybe I play because I want to, and I feel like escape. Where I personally, I think Planet Zoo is a perfect escape, if you know what I mean. To just relax and think of something else. But if I don't feel like it, I won't do it. I think most of you guys will understand that, if not all. But on a happier note, how cool is the new DLC? I still think it's the best DLC they ever made for me. Again, that doesn't mean that it will be the best for you, but the best for me. But we are here, guys. We are at the cinematics. I just forgot to tell you the info I got today. I didn't know get time to say a lot of that, but it's from A to Z animals.com, and I will link it along and I will link it below alongside with the WWF article. So I will be back when you are done with the cinematics. Okay, guys, that was all. I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, I think it's one of my more creative builds in a long time, but the new DLC just inspired me so much. So I really hope you enjoyed it. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again, either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye, guys!